person who is likely to be under the thumb of the executive, said by none other than Dr. Ambedkar. A day earlier, unquote, a day earlier on June 15, 1949, while moving the draft Article 289 in the Constituent Assembly for setting up an election commission, Ambedkar had observed, quote, without any kind of dissent, that in the interest of the purity and freedom of elections to the legislative bodies, it was of utmost importance that they should be freed from any kind of interference from the executive of the day. But now the executive is having the entire control. The select committee can ignore those members, Mike, can ignore the recommendation of the search committee and can, Article 324 of the Constitution provides that the power of superintendence, direction and control of elections to Parliament, state legislatures, the office of the President of India and the office of Vice President of India shall be vested in the Election Commission. So Election Commission is not just another entity in the country. This is the foremost. That's why it is chosen to be autonomous, without the intrusion of the government or any other forces from outside.
Thambi.
So we expect a lot.
Thambi.
Make a pardon? Yes, Solunka. Yes, ma'am. I think I have time.
How minute time?
Just 5 minutes more.
5 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I have given the remaining time only.
If I can,
The
I'll give you all
contravention
the
of the
time.
Supreme Court judgment in this bill, in the absence of a parliamentary legislation guiding the selection of ECI members, the 5 judgment I told earlier, Supreme Court laid down interim guidelines. The case challenged the constitutional validity, and now that the recommendations have totally been overlooked by this government through this bill. In 1990, the Dinesh Goswami Committee had made suggestions to ensure independence of the ECI. Number 1, the removal process of CEC and administrative independence of the ECI. So also it has been repeatedly, even in the Supreme Court in 1995, ECs are considered to be at par with the CEC in hierarchy. But now what is happening? The CEC can remove the EC, whereas the CEC can be removed only by an impeachment. Along with all other things, the CEC was earlier on par with the Supreme Court judge. By way of this bill, he has been reduced to on par with Cabinet Secretary.
Sir, they brought amendment.
Okay. Election Commission is a quasi-judicial body. It has a very big authority. So that's a very big question. An amendment has been moved. I think if it is taken up, it will be very well appreciated. So also in the global practices can also be adhered. UK has a panel of members of parliament headed by the speaker, not from one party only, invariably from all the other parties. So also South Africa has got a new, another one. So we can follow those things even in America, but whereas this has been done. And I would like to conclude with only one word, ma'am. According to the Mr. S.K. Qureshi, the former CEC, to tackle the major downside of the proposed bill, which is the lopsided selection committee, was to make all its decisions unanimous. That will resolve. But now it says that the majority of the select committee means it's very, very clear. Only the Prime Minister and the Union Minister who is that will be taking the decision. So forming that select committee becomes meaningless, and the search committee's recommendations, if it is ignored, that becomes redundant. So this bill, when it becomes a law, paves way for constituting a search committee and a select committee. Search committee's recommendations become nothing, and the select committee's decision will be unilateral. So the purpose is not solved. So I would suggest to the government, I would urge, what this bill you have brought does not serve the purpose. Better send it to a select committee for a better scrutiny. Stakeholders will come and bring it back with suitable amendments and make it democratic, make it ethical, make it justifiable, and that the selection of the CEC and the election commissioners are transparent and appreciable. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chadha.